Hi, this is Andy. We created this video to help you prepare for your upcoming Transformational Investing Workshop. We suggest watching the video 2 times, the first straight through as an overview, the second time pausing and doing each step along with the video. Although this is recorded on a Mac, the steps should be very similar if you're on a PC. First, we're going to cover the computer hardware and software you're going to need for the weekend. Second, we're going to cover Thinkorswim, a trading and charting application we use. We'll cover how to sign up for an account, how to download the software, and how to set up the software. Finally, we're going to go through a 3 circles exercise. You're going to start building a list of wonderful companies that are a combination of your passions, your talents, and your money. Since tablets aren't able to run the Thinkorswim software, you'll need to make sure to bring a laptop that has the latest Microsoft or Apple updates. We'll be providing you with many Microsoft Excel spreadsheets over the weekend, so make sure your laptop has Excel or something compatible. The next step, we're going to sign up for a paper trading account with Thinkorswim. Go to Google and do a search for Thinkorswim Paper Money. Follow the registration link. Unless you already have a TD Ameritrade account, answer no to the first question and fill in the entire form. Select a username and a password. As you may have noticed, the Paper Money accounts are good for 60 days. After the workshop, if you'd like to sign up for a permanent account, you can come back to the same place, thinkorswim.com, and click on the Open a New Account link if you're in the US. Now that you've registered for the account, we're ready to download the software. You'll receive an email from Thinkorswim that has a download link. Follow the link, enter the user ID and the password you set up during registration, and click Verify Account. Next, click on the download link and select the software for your operating system. Give it a few minutes to download the software and go through the installation steps for your computer. If you're on a Mac, you might have to go into your system preferences, security and privacy, and change allow apps downloaded from to anywhere to allow Thinkorswim to properly install. After the installation, you can certainly go back and change the security back to Mac App Store and Identified Developers, or Mac App Store if you prefer. Select TD Ameritrade as the account and continue with the installation. Once the installation is done, click Finish and it'll automatically launch Thinkorswim and install any updates. Now that Thinkorswim is installed, we're going to set up 3 things: the overall look and feel, charts, and the trade tab. Let's get started setting up the overall look and feel. Before logging into Thinkorswim, make sure to switch the slider bar over to Paper Money, and you'll see it turn orange, and click on the gear icon down in the bottom left, where we can change the color scheme to high contrast light, the font size to medium, and we can increase the memory. I would suggest 64 and 1536. Once you make those changes, click on Save and go ahead and log into your account. When you first log in, you'll probably see a screen similar to this. Click on the X to close it and go to Setup in the top right corner. On your computer, it may or may not say the word Setup next to it. You should definitely see that gear icon though. Once we're there, click on Application Settings. Go to Startup and uncheck Show Home Screen on every startup. Next, let's go to Look and Feel Make sure you're set on light high contrast. Next, we'll go to display. Display, we can uncheck the minis under non-standard option types, uncheck minis. Finally, go to order defaults, come down to options, and change the default quantity of orders from 10 to 1. Once you make those changes, click on apply settings. Finally, click on the arrow that's separating the two sides of the screen, and that gives us a lot more screen real estate to work with. That's it for the look and feel. Next, let's set up the charts. Start by clicking on the charts menu item and make sure you're on charts, just like I am on my screen. In the symbol box, type in $DJI and select the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Next, come over to the Studies dropdown, click on Studies, go to Edit Studies, and we're going to add 4 studies to this. The empty box, first type in Simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, and double-click on the Simple Moving Average. Come over here to the right and double-click where we just added it. Change Length to 10, and change Show Breakout Signals to Yes. Then click OK. Next, come back to the box and type in MACD and double-click on the MACD histogram. Double-click on the right side where we added it. We're going to change the fast length to 8, the slow length to 17, and leave the MACD length to 9. Change Show Breakout Signals to Yes. And down at the bottom, where we see this Draw As, click on that drop down and change it to the next one down so it looks just like it does on the screen, and click on OK. Third, we're going to add stochastics. So if you start typing STOCH and choose the very last one that's going to show up, it's stochastic slow. Add that by double clicking. Once again, double click on the right hand side. We are going to change the K period to 14. We're going to change the D period to 5. And by the way, any of these you can change by typing or with the plus and minus next to it. Scroll down to the bottom, show breakout signals, put that on slow K. And finally come down to the bottom, click on the slow D, and uncheck all of 3 boxes and click on OK. The last study we're going to add is if you type in volume, and we want to double click on this volume average, and it'll automatically come up volume average 50. So go ahead and click on OK, and we've now added those 4 studies. And since we don't need 2 volumes, we're going to get rid of this one up top. So go to the gear icon, click on the equities, and uncheck the volume show volume subgraph. Once you click on OK, your chart should look just like mine, where you'll have the moving average with the breakout signals up top. You will have the MACD with the breakout signals in the middle. You'll have the stochastics with the breakout signals on the bottom. And you'll have the volume with a 50-day moving average on the volume. Now that we have our study set up, let's save it. So go back up to Studies, click on Save Study Set, and type Rule 1, and click on Save. Now that we have our study set saved, it's useful to be able to put it on or take it off as we need it. If you go up to Studies, if you don't want to use them, you can click on Remove All Studies and click on Yes, and it will get rid of them for us. And anytime we'd like to add them back, we can come to Studies, Load Study Set, and click on the Rule 1, and we'll bring them all back. The last thing we're going to do is make sure that we've got some time frames that we use often. If we click on the drop down in between the gear icon and the style, yours may or may not say D on it. Click on that drop down and go to Customize List. If you don't already have this 1-year D, we're going to add it. To add any time frames, go to Add Time Frame. Aggregation type is going to be time. We're going to want a time frame that has 1-year time interval and aggregation period day. So if you don't already have that, go ahead and set that one up. We're going to add one more time frame to this. So add time frame, Time interval is going to be 10 years, and aggregation period monthly. Once we add that, we can click on that drop down and go right to our 10-year monthly. And that's going to bring up a 10-year monthly chart with the studies shown just the way we like them. That's it for setting up our charts. Finally, let's move on to setting up our trade layout. In Thinkorswim, click on the trade menu item, and you want to be on all products. And this time in the symbol box, type in RUT, which is the symbol for the Russell 2000 index, which we're going to introduce you to over the weekend. Once the data comes up, you can make sure all of these arrows are collapsed. You can see if you click on any of these arrows, it'll open it up. If you click on it again, it will collapse it. So once all of those are collapsed, go ahead and open one of these. And where it says strikes right in the middle, if yours is set to 4, make sure this is set to all. Next, we're going to click on this layout drop down. Yours probably says last X and net change. Click on that drop down and go to customize. We're going to get rid of both items that are in here by double clicking on them, or you can also click on it and click on remove item. On the left side, we're going to add 4 things. The first one is we're going to choose mark, M-A-R-K. So I can click on that and click on add item. Next, I want to add probability OTM. Third, I want to add delta. And finally, I'm going to add mark one more time. And we're going to explain what all of these are over the course of the weekend. Once you have those, click on OK. And you'll see the layout change, so you can collapse that again. And we're going to do that exact same setup in one more place. Come up to the Analyze menu item and click on Think Back. And once again, type in RUT into the box. And we're going to go through that exact same setup. So strikes, I want to make sure that's on all. And I can have any of these arrows expanded. It doesn't just have to be that first one. As long as any of these are open, you can see the layout on this one I've already got set up. So if I go to customize, and if you have anything extra in there, in fact, we're going to get rid of it. So I'm going to get rid of volume and open interest. And I want mark, probability, OTM, delta, and mark one more time. So that way the layout on our trade tab and our think back tab will be identical. So we are all set setting up Thinkorswim. We set up the look and feel, we set up our charts, and we set up our trade tab. The final preparation piece is going to be the 3 circles exercise. We're going to begin building a list of potentially wonderful companies that come from your passions, your talents, and your money. Go to the Rule 1 Investing website and log in with your username and password. Once you're logged into the toolbox, go up to the search and click on search, search 3 circles. In the first screen, you're going to select several industries that you have a passion for. And as you scroll over each one, you'll see a box that explains the industry. Once you've selected the industries you're passionate about, click Save and Continue. Next, go through the same process for industries that either you work in, that are your hobbies, or that you have a talent for. And finally, repeat the process for a third time for industries where you spend your money. When you're finished, click Save and Continue. The next screen will come up showing the industries that overlapped in all 3 groups. We're going to continue working with that list you just created during the weekend workshop. In summary, make sure you bring your laptop with you, no tablets, and make sure it's got Excel or a compatible spreadsheet program on it. And we just walked through Thinkorswim, signing up for a paper money account, downloading and installing the software, and setting up the look and feel, the charts, and the trade layout. And finally, we began creating a list of wonderful companies that is an intersection of your passions, your talents, and your money. We look forward to seeing you at your transformational investing workshop, where we're going to take all the preparation steps we just went through and dive deeper on all of them.